Well, look who's back on trail. Woo! Home, sweet home. Well, guys, after just shy of 3 weeks, I'm back at it. I do not need to tell you how good this feels. I'm sure you guys already know. I'm gonna enjoy hiking for a little bit. Absolutely gorgeous. Shaded climb. It's 79 in Bryson City right now, so here at the NOC it's a warm day, but the shade is beautiful. I'm not yet ready to start sweating. I'm a fan of cold weather. I would like it back. So one thing that is pretty neat about coming back down and hitting this section just outside of the NOC, when I hopped off trail and skipped the NOC to Smoky section a couple of days prior to that, the whole Seiler, Wye, Wesser Bald stretch, that was all under sleet and snow with it down in the 20s. Now I'm hopping back on just on the other side of the NOC and it's 80 degrees. Everything is just thick greenery all around me. Can't even really grab a good view of anything off to the sides of these ridges. Well, we're rolling right along the trail around noon. It's about 3 right now, just a few minutes after 3. Just over 6 miles and climbed about 3,000 feet coming out from the NOC so far. Gonna keep going for a little bit. We got a shelter coming up in the next mile if we want to cut the day a little short, or we have a tent site a few miles after that. So it's absolutely gorgeous day though. Getting a little used to this heat, kind of deal with a little dry mouth situation there, but a few more frequent sips of water, chewing gum, fruit gushers, all sorts of remedies for that problem. Man, I'm glad to be back out here. So to kind of fill you guys in on the plan a little bit with what's going on, right now I'm planning a little 3-day push from the NOC to Fontana. So taking our time, doing those 3 days, easing back into the trail. And then rather than taking a 0, we're gonna push right on into the Smokies after doing a resupply at Fontana. 5-day, 4-night running through the Smokies. Now the Smokies are open. At this time, the Smokies are not issuing through hiker permits, but you can still go through. So what you have to do is you just have to go on through and pick which sites you're staying at every night of your trip through the Smokies. I went on about a week ago and reserved these spots for this upcoming week. I saw that they were some of them were starting to go pretty quickly. So anyway, keep on trekking. So it looks like we're going to end up doing just over 10 miles today. Came up and over Cheoba Bald, which is that beautiful view that you guys just saw coming on down now into Locust Grove Gap, just a little tent site. And gonna get set up, have some good dinner, and look forward to seeing what tomorrow brings. Well, good morning, guys. Hitting the trail this morning, just shy of 9 o'clock. Did 10.7 yesterday, got to camp decently early, 4:35. Hung out, had a few hours of daylight to settle in, eat, get set up. Just kind of ease back into things a little bit. Looking like we're gonna have another beautiful 80-degree day on our hands. Looking forward to getting some good miles. I only have 18 miles to do in the next 2 days for us to get to Fontana, so we might push a little bit further today and maybe do a little bit more of like a Nero tomorrow or something like that. Not exactly sure, but anyway, we'll try to incorporate some rest in of some sort before hitting the Smokies in a couple days. But it is beautiful, it smells great, sun is shining. And for those of you that don't know what a Nero is a near zero. So rather than hiking no miles that day, you get close to no miles. So maybe 3 or 4 miles, but you're really prioritizing rest or recovery or resupply or something like that. Well, if I was rolling through here back in April, I'm pretty sure I would have a nice view right about through here. But I enjoy the greenery all the same. I know I'm gonna have some awesome views once I make it on into the Smokies. So if anyone is curious, there's a beast of a climb coming up out of Stokoa Gap. I hadn't really taken a look at Gut Hook. I actually passed a local just coming up a little ways out of the gap, and he was letting me know that I was about to encounter what was known as Jacob's Ladder. And I don't know exactly what it came out to. I know that I hit at least 600 feet in my first half mile of the climb. I'm going to guess it all in all, it's about 800 to 1,000 feet over, probably just shy of a mile. But anyway, fun climb to get you on up and over, and headed on back down now. Probably gonna stop at a shelter here. There's a shelter coming up within the next mile. Gonna get off my legs for a minute, grab some food, hydrate, grab some water if they have it, and see what the rest of the day is gonna hold. A little midday Big Al special for bug deterrence purposes. A little glimpse of some view. Well, it is an incredible day for a little Sunday stroll. It's probably 2 o'clock right now. We're about 8 miles in for the day. Just been taking our time. Got a few hours ahead of us, so just gonna kind of see where we go. Don't really have a stopping point in mind. Feeling really good. Who knows? I'll talk to Al, but we might not stop till we hit Katahdin. Well, good morning, everybody. Getting a little bit of a later start to the day today. Didn't get out of my tent until probably close to 9. It's a little after 10 right now. Just easing on into the day. We have just shy of 3 miles, just over 2 miles rather, to get to Fontana Dam Road. And then we have just shy of 4 miles to make it to Fontana Dam Shelter. So just gonna take our time getting on in, see what we can do about getting a little bit of a resupply we're gonna need 5 days to make it on through the Smokies. So hopefully Fontana is gonna be able to take care of us in that regard. And if not, we'll figure out what else we need to do to keep on a trekking. Well guys, I never would have really expected it to happen, but I broke a trekking pole. Sucker just completely snapped on me. So stepped on a little bit of a slippery rock, and I guess as I threw my weight to catch myself on the other trekking pole, just snapped. Couldn't find it. I looked for the other half of what was broken. It must have just shot off down into a ravine somewhere like that, because it was nowhere to be found. But what this means is that I am going to need to try and figure out how to get a set of new trekking poles within the next 24 hours, because I definitely want them for the Smokies, and I need them because my shelter is set up with my trekking poles. So unless I can get real crafty and get the perfect stick, I'm gonna have to find another set of poles. So we just checked out the little Fontana marina down that way. They had a sign about offering some shuttle services, or if you needed a ride in that regard. And I also saw that they maybe potentially had a little bit of gear in there, so I was going to check and see about getting a trekking pole. But well, unfortunately, they're not open on Mondays. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, so no luck there. Got up onto a ridge and got a little bit of signal, made some calls to some different shuttles, made a call to the general store here at Fontana. No one's really answering the phones, but I did get a hold of the hike in, so they're gonna come and pick us up here in the next hour or so. We're gonna go on in. They have a pretty good through hiker long distance package where you get 2 people in a room, $50 per person. They do your laundry, they take you into town, make sure that you get your resupply, all that good stuff. So have a bed, satellite TV. So might be raining tonight, so it'll be nice to stay dry, get cleaned up a little bit. Hopefully I can figure out what I need to do trekking pole wise. I need to figure out what's going on with this cowlick. Made it on down to Fontana Dam shelter. Beautiful view. This mountain lake is just gorgeous. Waiting for the ride. It's gonna come pick us up here in just the next little bit. Made it to the hike in, guys. Awesome little place here. First things first, I got a replacement trekking pole. So right now, my mind's already a lot more at ease. It's not the same as my other trekking pole. The weight is a little bit off. This blue one has a little bit more of like an inner suspension system that actually allows it to have a little bit of movement. But anyway, for my purposes, it's gonna get the job done. It's gonna hold my shelter up, and I'm gonna have some stability if I'm going through the Smokies. And all this rain that we're expecting in the week ahead, just nothing's open right now. No outfitters nearby. I'm not going to get something shipped to me in the next day. So this is going to hold me on through, and I'll have something waiting for me whenever I get on over to Standing Bear Way. I'll have a new set of trekking poles, or at least a replacement of what I have, to keep moving on. But yeah, about to get showered up, get some laundry going. I'll show you what else we have going on real quick. Letting some of our stuff dry out right now from the rain that rolled in last night. Got my sleeping bag out, sleeping pad, tent, rainfly. Big Al's doing the same. I'm gonna be keeping an eye out. Looks like we might have a little bit of rain rolling in here in just a little bit. So I'll be coming on back out. I'll get some of this stuff brought in once it gets dry. But look forward to getting cleaned up, getting us a shuttle on into town. We're gonna be able to get a resupply. And yeah, things are always coming together. So it's ended up being a pretty solid day. Got on over to the hike in around probably 1:30 or so, and just hung out, got cleaned up, got laundry done, ran on into Robbinsville around 4, ran to Ingalls and got our resupply and made it on back this way, got settled in around 6, and I've pretty much been eating nonstop since about 6 o'clock, probably 9:30 or 10 right now. So I've just been grazing, we've been hanging out, watching some movies and shows, and looking forward to get some good rest and hit Smokies in the morning.